we've been talking about the inner spirit that drives certain entrepreneurs to success. Razi Imam called it Janoon. Well, if you're having a hard time finding it inside you, maybe you could use some coaching, in particular something called neuro-emotional coaching. Barbara Schwarck is back with us today. She's CEO of Clear Intentions International. Welcome back. Good to see you again.
Thanks, Bill.
Last time we were here, we were talking about your book, and we really didn't dig in very much into this whole idea of neuro-emotional coaching and the value that it can provide to folks. So first off, what exactly is it?
Neuro-emotional coaching is a unique technology that we developed, and NEC, it's executive coaching rooted in neuroscience. It creates alignment on all levels to assist a person to really remove their intentional response to circumstance.
Okay, so you talk about all levels. What levels are misaligned inside a person?
We're looking at conscious, subconscious, and unconscious, the major three parts of the brain. And we want to make, in neuro-emotional coaching, just make sure that all three parts of the brains are pulling in the same direction.
I mean, it surprises me a little bit. I mean, I always heard the whole bit about how everybody has the reptilian brain that kind of controls your really base emotions. But doesn't your consciousness, yourself, override all of that?
Actually, it doesn't. We have three parts of the brain. We have the neocortex, we've got the limbic brain, and we've got the reptilian brain. The neocortex is the conscious part of the brain that produces analytics, language, thoughts, math, science. And then we've got the limbic brain, which produces the emotions, and that is subconscious. And as you know, you can't really control your emotions. You know, they basically get triggered. And then we've got the reptilian brain, which is responsible for fight or flight or the freeze response. Let's say, Bill, you want to start a business, and the neocortex says, well, let's start a business. And it's matched by a response from the limbic system, and that is fear. And the reptilian brain is activated and says, well, Bill, your survival is at stake. You're going to have a hard time taking the steps that you need to take in order to make that happen, because you're going to start sabotaging yourself with, you know, poor time management or, you know, things like that. So that's where neuro-emotional coaching comes in. It makes sure that biochemically all parts of the brain are aligned, and so that you can actually take the steps that you want to take in order to get yourself from A to B. All
right, well, a few minutes ago you gave me a chance to see how this works, so why don't we go to the videotape, and when we come back we'll talk a little bit about what we've just seen.
We start with a muscle test, and muscle testing is a 2,000-year-old technology, Bill, that comes to us from China. So it's based on the premise that a muscle will be stronger when a person will speak in ways that are in line with all levels of consciousness, and that your muscle will be weaker, you know, when you are speaking in ways that are not in line with all of who you are, all of your levels of consciousness. It's a little bit like a lie detector test. So I'm going to ask you to put out your arm here.
Okay.
And
how do you want me to do it?
Yeah, just like this.
Just
and
like
keep
this?
your elbows straight.
Okay.
And I'm going to take my fingers, and I like you to resist me and not let me push down.
Okay.
Hold nice and strong.
There you go.
So we can see what happens is that the arm bounces right back up, right?
Okay, sure, right.
Nice and strong. So I'm going to ask you to make a few statements, and we'll see if your muscle test changes. Okay?
Okay.
So my name is Bill.
My name is Bill.
Okay, nice and strong. And my name is Michael.
My name is Michael. Now, come on, I didn't really do that, did I?
What happened? What did you experience?
Well, it felt like I couldn't push up quite as hard when I wasn't telling the truth.
Right. And so your name is not Michael. Do I take that right?
I think you're probably right about that.
Okay, good. So relax for a second.
Okay.
So let's say you wanted to make $1 million, and you would make the statement, "I'm okay with making $1 million." I would muscle test you and find out if that's actually in line with all of who you are or not.
Well, we could try that one. I'd like $1 million. Okay. I don't know, but I might surprise you. I might be totally together on $1 million. We'll see.
Keep your elbows straight.
Right, okay.
I'm okay with making $1 million.
I'm okay with making $1 million.
Okay, so it's strong.
Was I pretty good?
Yeah,
okay,
it's
good.
Strong.
I'm cool with $1 million, obviously, clearly. I just got to get myself organized to make it happen. But I think most of the folks who work with me will say that I have a messy desk, a messy office, and I keep telling myself, I gotta deal with this. You know, I gotta get better organized. Could we go down that path and maybe figure out why it is I live in total chaos?
We can. Okay, so hold nice and strong for me.
Okay.
I'm okay with being organized.
I'm okay with being organized.
So obviously your arm went weaker.
A little bit, yeah.
So it doesn't mean that you're not okay with being organized. It means that part of you is not okay with being organized. Actually, I'm going to hop down.
Okay.
That's okay. So I'm going to use the meridian points. I'm going to have this arm. And
that arm still out?
Yeah.
Like that?
And I'm going to have you say, "I'm okay with being organized."
I'm okay with being organized.
Okay, keep going.
What, say it again?
Yes.
I'm okay with being organized.
Okay, so we find that there is a different strength in your arm now. Keep going.
I'm okay with being organized.
Okay, good. So what I'm looking for is a particular meridian point along your wrist to see what emotion is actually being triggered. And in your case, it's actually a shame-based emotion that shows up.
Shame-based emotion. Well, I am ashamed of being disorganized,
Okay.
but it works for me.
So I want to find out, when did this occur?
Okay.
So we have conception to birth, hold nice and strong. We've got birth to 10, and we've got birth to 5. Time of birth, hold 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so 5 years old. What happens when you're 5 years old?
Well, you're told to clean up your bed or whatever.
Right.
That's the time at your life when your parents typically start enforcing the rules about taking good care of things, right?
Right, and you go to kindergarten.
Oh, okay.
So anything that you might be able to think about why you would feel disdain?
That's a tough call. I mean, except I really loved being at home, you know.
Do you think you might have felt disgraceful about not wanting to go to school?
Well, that's possible. Not wanting to leave, not wanting to go.
wanting to leave. Like,
Yeah.
I don't want to leave my mother and my father. I'm comfortable here.
So, okay, all right, I'll take it at face value. You've dug back to my 5-year-old self. What do I do about it?
Okay, so now actually comes the most important part of that whole neuroemotional coaching sequence. We want to biochemically align yourself. So the way we do that, I'm going to use that meridian that we had in the beginning.
Again, right?
I'm going to take your hand, and I'm going to have you put this finger right here, right, and put your hand on your forehead like this.
What, this hand?
Yes.
Okay.
And if you can, just relax for a moment.
In this position, okay. I'll do the best I can.
I know. And close your eyes for a sec.
Close my eyes,
And
okay.
I just want you to go back in time and think about being 5 years old and allow yourself to sort of get in touch with that disdain for, as you said, growing up or wanting to go to school. And just breathe into that. And when you find yourself sort of a shift in your energy, or maybe, Bill, you just think that you're done breathing, you just can stop and drop your hands and let me know that you're done. Good.
Okay.
Excellent. So now what we want to do is we want to use the same technology that we had in the beginning, the muscle test, to see if there's anything that's different about the muscle test.
Okay.
Say to me, I'm okay with being organized.
I'm okay with being organized.
Okay, so I was trying to push down harder just to prove the point, but
Right.
your arm stayed up.
Right.
When we started out with,
It caved in a lot more easily.
That's right.
Exactly. So you think there's actually now been a biochemical change inside my head?
absolutely.
Amazing stuff, and I promise I wasn't faking it with the arm thing. I mean, it really did seem to have an effect. I think one thing it shows me is that the kinds of things that can mess up your head aren't necessarily bizarre things that happen to you while you're growing up. It can be very routine sorts of things that so many people are exposed to.
Absolutely. It could be that another child comes on the scene, and of course the attention in the family goes to the new baby, and you might feel a little bit neglected, or a grandparent dies, or you go to school. So it doesn't really have to be things that seem to be really significant.
And I know you've done some studies. I mean, this actually does seem to make a difference when people take this seriously and take advantage of it?
Absolutely. We worked with a group of sales executives, and we did that for 3 months, and we looked at before and after. And what we found was when we removed the fear of being rejected, the sales executive, they were able to consistently execute their scorecard, meaning the behaviors that they have to take in order to make sure that they prospect and sell. And revenue went up by 30%. People sold more, and the company was happy. They were happy, and of course the bottom line went up, and it was a good thing.
Fascinating stuff. It's called Neuro-Emotional Coaching. Barbara Schwarck of Clear Intentions International. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me on the show.
And we'll be back in a minute with a little dollars and cents. Stay with us.